Well, you can come,
Hi.
oh, you're not Phil.
No, I'm not Phil.
I was talking to Phil, and you're not Phil. Here, I have a packet for you.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, whenever I read those documents home, I got a little tablet, and it stinks, because
Yeah,
I
it's
can't
hard
make
to
the thing
read.
big enough where I can see it.
Yep.
Hey Phil, how you doing?
Good, you?
I'm good, thank you. Hi,
How you doing?
What's that?
Are we on?
Not yet.
Okay.
Almost.
Just checking. Before I tell any jokes, just want to be sure.
Keep it clean.
Yeah, always. Steve? Steve?
Let's see, he's coming. He's here. He needs to go to the bathroom. Harold,
Yes.
I just wanted to, I'm Christine.
Oh, hi,
We
Christine.
spoke on the phone.
He must be driving.
So I just wanted to say, in your email, I just wanted to clarify something. You said in here that you've been paying for water that you didn't use.
Right.
You haven't been billed for anything
Well, there's a
that
minimum.
happened in that situation.
I'm sorry, I don't understand what you mean.
You didn't, we haven't billed you for that water usage or the sewer usage. That comes out tomorrow, the new bill. Because
Well, I'm
it-
talking about the fact that every month, or every quarter, I pay the minimum amount,
Yeah.
7,500, but I never use that much water.
Oh, well.
That's what I mean when I say that I was.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I
That's all
only use-
changing now anyway, so that's okay. I just didn't understand what you.
Yeah, no, I'm not questioning the new billing,
Okay.
I'm questioning the fact that, I pay the minimum even though I only use about 3,000 gallons
Right,
a quarter.
all right. This pen,
You're feeding us down the bathroom.
no matter where I put this pen, it rolls.
Is it usually this crowded?
Not really.
Yeah. Good. Good.
The amount of money.
Which one is that? Which shall we
It's, you can see it, 6123. That's the reference number? I'm sorry.
Reference is 60.23, what are you saying?
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. Because there's,
You're
I'm looking at the
confusing
next
me.
one and it has the same
You're
name,
confusing me.
so to speak. Sorry.
So,
Doesn't turn down,
Oh, it seemed like Vivian got it. I thought she did, maybe.
it's as low as it goes.
This customer 60.23, was that Tompkins?
Yes.
Okay.
Justin.
Is he not coming?
No, can someone let me in upstairs? No. You can
Oh.
come around.
Well, he came so
No,
late.
he can come around.
I don't know why he comes in that way anyway.
Just for the record, I offered to go over.
He did, I heard it.
Yeah, but we-
Nobody's doing those stairs any more than they have to.
No, I know.
That's why I park out front.
Yeah,
But he's so used to coming in the back, I guess.
and he usually is here sooner,
Yeah.
so we do let him in, but
This is
he
true.
was kinda late.
He replies, okay.
That'll teach him.
Yeah, that'll learn you.
Tough crowd. Ooh, this is another one. That's the digest. Hmm?
That's a guess.
Oh. Wow. Is James coming?
He said he was.
Hmm?
I feel like I'm in a dentist's office.
Yeah, I know what that is.
It's worse than that,
Yeah.
actually, isn't it? I thought you said you didn't turn it on yet.
No, it's
Huh?
scheduled to come on.
Oh,
but it's not
automatically?
coming.
I didn't know it did that. I thought you still had to push buttons.
Yeah, you do, but the button is not sticking, it's not staying. It's not letting you.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
This isn't.
It's been a nice day today, huh? Smokes.
Just nice to have that humidity break for a change, right?
It's only been hot or raining,
Yeah.
right, forever.
The whole summer.
Someone had said in the month of August, we didn't have one day in the nineties, for the whole month of
Yeah,
August.
we did.
believe it, yeah.
It didn't, but it was,
It's just some humid
the
again.
humidity
Yeah.
and high 80s was enough.
In July, we had 15, just under 15 inches of rain.
Mhm.
And there was 14.9 something inches of rain in July. So it rained in July, and it was,
Yeah.
kept raining in August. I think the next week, though, was like really nice, 75 or
It's not gonna be too hot, yeah. It's gonna be
We are
perfect.
It's 7 o'clock. Yeah. Sorry. Delving in here. Okay. Welcome to the Pawling Joint Sewer Commission meeting for September 14th, 2023. If you could join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You might have to call in.
Well, he's.
Because he said he could be on, but he could only be on until 7:45.
Yeah, he did say that.
But
We'll give him.
we'll give him a minute. Yeah, it's hard to get that
Does that mean
music.
he expects us to be here till 7:45?
No.
Yeah.
I told him we should be good,
Yeah.
but
He's been enough of these
Never
meetings,
know.
he should know.
all right. Everybody have a chance to read the minutes?
Yes.
Can I get a motion to approve the August 10th minutes?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Alright.
And everybody read the treasurer's report? as
Of course, I
written?
would recluse myself from these.
Oh, yes. Did you say that?
No, I didn't, but I will.
Welcome, Phil.
That's right, welcome.
He didn't bring us back any clams. He didn't tell you, he was clamming for a month in like Rhode Island. He didn't bring anything back for us
He
though.
ate them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only 3 weeks. I'll go back next week and still have another shot.
Can I get approval of the treasurer's report as presented?
I'll make a motion for that.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And can I get approval for the August 2023 voucher report as presented?
I'll make a motion for that as well.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. I'm gonna make a motion to transfer the amount of $76,119.51 from O&M account ending in 0030 to checking account ending in 0190. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
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 I'll make the motion to transfer the amount of $925 from capital account ending in 0000 to checking account ending in 0190 to pay the New York electrical inspections for the West Main Street pump station and New York rural water camera. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. What, can we call him? Do you have his number?
I'll text him.
Yeah.
I'll text him. Are you texting him?
You can go ahead.
All right, so we have reference number 6023 that is requesting an adjustment to their sewer bill in the amount of $1,958.54 for customer 10618. Anybody have any questions regarding this?
So they had a elbow burst in the basement, they didn't realize it for a number of days, correct?
Yes. Was the tenant was away on vacation.
Wondering, that's a huge amount of
It's
water.
a large amount of.
Well, they sent pictures.
Was this the water tank one or the?
No.
No,
No.
no.
Number
This is
3,
a
right?
different one. This is,
Is this one?
This is the first one.
yeah.
First one, okay.
Yeah, that's,
Wow.
you know,
Wow.
Yep.
where
There
that
must
is.
have been some mess when they got home.
They did send pictures.
Yeah, it was bad.
If anyone wants to
Yeah,
see the
okay.
basement, what it looked like. It was pretty full.
I had a flooded basement one time,
Yeah.
2 years ago. I woke up, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. I was taking my vitamins. I'm standing by my kitchen sink. I'm like, I hear water
Yeah,
running.
yeah, the water running.
Yeah.
Why is there water running? I opened my basement door to about 2 feet of water because of a line that fed my hot water heater went. You know, it's the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah.
Stuff floating around.
No,
It's
absolutely.
dreadful.
So the water obviously never entered the sewer system.
Correct.
Correct,
So they're gonna pay the water bill, but they want relief on the sewer bill.
correct.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
All right, so does someone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion for, I'm sorry,
60.23.
I'll make a motion for reference number 60.23 for the adjustment to the sewer bill in the amount of $1,958.54 for customer number 10618.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so now we have reference number 61.23, request for adjustment to sewer bill in the amount of $435.08 to customer 10512. Customer found a tear in the outdoor hose. Hose bib was running and resulted in a reading of 46,149 gallons. 41,859 gallons above normal use.
That's a lot of water.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully lesson learned.
They're
Again,
all for real. They're all very high in
Yeah.
It seems to happen a lot. I mean, we had someone a couple of years ago, right, Mayor, that had one bigger than this, who had a line feeding their greenhouse. I think it was back off West Main Street, I remember. A line blew and they were away. Came back, the water was just running for like weeks while they were gone. It's terrible when this happens because you don't realize it.
there.
Yeah,
Turn my water off all the time.
no, he didn't respond. He went through it till it was delivered.
Just turn it off, and if he texts, we'll, yeah.
I'll make a motion for reference number 6123, to adjust the amount of $435.08 for customer number 10512.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Alright.
Okay, so now we have reference number 62.23, request for adjustment of sewer bill in the amount of $1,112.42 for customer 10073. The expansion tank burst in the basement and he didn't discover it immediately. This customer has an average use of 2,560 gallons per quarter for the last 4 quarters. The August 31st reading was 105,771 gallons.
Again, that's a mess, boy. That's a lot of water. Once again, the water's not entering the sewer system,
Correct.
so I'll make that motion to waive the $1,112.42, reference 62.23. For customer 10073.
Second.
Second from Phil. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. Hopefully these folks start watching some of these things a little closer. That's a lot of good water down the drain.
Certainly is.
Or in their basements.
Treated water.
Yeah.
On the next reference.
You're the next reference. All right, Justin,
Is this-
reference 63.23, Parents Associates.
Oh, okay, so what happened was, a while back, they kept testing our gas system because it kept giving off alarms very often. So we presumed when we even had the roll-ups open, the alarms were still going off, that something was wrong. It turned out that 2 of our oxygen sensors that we have inside of the gas system, were the incorrect gas sensors. So they came back and they got all their information that they needed, saying like where they're located and everything like that, so that they can get their own refund from the company MSA, so that they can install the proper gas meters. They also recalibrated all of the LEL set systems, which is for all the other dangerous gases. So the system does work. So one thing I'll say is sometimes that alarm goes off. All that alarm is, it's the only audible alarm at the plant. So if someone calls and says there's an alarm that they can hear from the plant, it means the gas sensor is just going off in the building, which means no one's there anyways, so it's not an issue to be alarmed of. That's the only audible alarm they have, otherwise everything else is a call out to me. But everything else seems fine from Aaron Associates. I know that there's a follow-up because we have battery backups for all the computers and everything like that. So we're gonna get a price quote because all of them say end of life expectancy, all the batteries need to be changed out. So they need the information off them, I gotta email it to them, and they're gonna quote us on what it would cost to change out all the battery packs for all the backup systems.
Did they all expire around the same time?
Yeah, I mean, they were all installed at the same time, and every single one of them started lighting at the same time. I guess they do only last like 3 to 4 years, and it's going on 4 years come
It's
November.
unfortunate that they're all the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, they're kind of staggered.
Yeah, well, they're all installed at the exact same time, it's all the
And
starters
now they're
done.
gonna be that way again.
Right, but we're
Yeah.
gonna see what they quote, and then if we can do it cheaper
Yeah,
ourselves,
'cause-
then we can do that.
Yeah, we'll see what it comes with, because I know we already have contracts with them, they might come down, but otherwise, I can figure it out.
Okay,
Excellent.
thank you. Anybody have any questions? All right, thank you, Justin.
Mhm.
All right, reference 64.23, revised quote from Fred Cook for jetting and camera work on Memorial Avenue. Justin, do you wanna speak to that, or?
It's just that when we tried doing camera work with New York Rural on only the 10-inch main, well, we did a bunch of places, but specifically the 10-inch main right here that feeds all the way down to the plant, where we've had all these backups, we put the camera down, and in some of the manholes, we couldn't even get even a foot, because a 10-inch pipe has 5 inches of grease in it.
Wow.
So we were gonna have Cook come in, and they have a thing will knock up all the grease, and they'll also suck it out on the farther side of the manhole, so this way it doesn't actually keep going through the system. We'll process it at the plant, and it should save us a lot of money in the long run for
And then
any
they're
backups.
cammering after.
And then yes, they're following up with the camera so
So
they
they're
can
gonna have
inspect
this
their
root
own
cutter,
work.
so anything that's in the way should be cleared
Any
out, so we
roots or
should be
anything.
cleaning the pipe out pretty good, and
Yeah.
then being able to fully camera the
Mhm.
pipe.
Fantastic.
Was this ever done before?
Things were not maintained very
No.
well.
You answered that question.
Oh, he's trying to dial in.
It says music is playing.
Oh,
Well, it's not on, I don't know
go
what
ahead
music
and,
he's hearing.
go ahead and open
I don't know what he's hearing. I turned it off.
it. He must be in a holding pattern or something, I don't know. Sorry.
Sorry, Jess, I didn't mean
No,
to
it's fine.
interrupt that, sorry about that.
Okay.
I'm trying to do it discreetly.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I wasn't paying, I didn't see that.
Welcome, and thank you.
So it'd be really good, because like, for instance, the storm, when we had that really bad
If
rainstorm,
you are the host,
the manholes were all
press
bubbling up down there
star now.
because
Otherwise,
half of it
you
was
may
clogged, and
continue
it wasn't even
on.
able to get down to this plant.
And I see that they gave a revised quote
Yes.
Yeah.
4 days later. I mean, I saw some
They
minor.
reduced, a minor reduction.
They reduced their hourly rate the first hour, but then they increased
No, they didn't increase anything. They reduced,
for each additional hour, went to $275.
they reduced the first hour, yeah, by $200, and then they reduced each additional hour by $25. if it's necessary. I don't think it's gonna even take more than an hour. Probably
No,
to camera that.
Oh, the camera, no, the camera should be pretty quick. The
Every
hardest
time
part,
it's on
the hardest
top,
part is,
it's done.
well, I don't know what kind of setup they have, cause New York Rural, it did take like
Oh, I see,
10,
they
15
reduced
minutes to
both.
set up, and then you gotta get it down and let it drive. So if they have one of those that just feed, I can't imagine taking long, cause what New York Rural had like a legit robot that could like actuate in every single way, it's very cool. That took some time to set up and get going.
Yeah, New York Rural
Was
was
fantastic.
awesome, and they saved us a ton of money, and they were
The
great to
gentleman's
work
name is
with.
Steve Grimes, he's a very nice man, he's
Yeah.
been doing it for 30 years. Yeah, he's really good.
It was great, it was really good, so,
Lori, just to go back on the grease,
yeah.
I know I mentioned here once before about the inspections that the building inspector
Which
used to
we've been
do.
doing, and we've been following up, unannounced.
Yeah, are they doing it like, what are they,
We haven't had a backup recently,
Yeah,
so knock on
well,
wood.
that doesn't mean not to do it.
no, we're
yeah.
still doing it.
The biggest,
the
the
other,
biggest offenders used to be the Chinese restaurant and a couple of the restaurants, so we used to even double up on them, just to make sure
right,
for a while.
so he's going out frequently, I don't know the exact amount of time, and he's following up on any issues that were, he's following up on that, and then he's doing little surprise check-ins.
Right, that's the only way.
The other thing that we need to address and look into is some of them are undersized. So we want to
Yeah,
start
New York-
looking into that.
New York Rural gave us a whole bunch of literature from over the past 10 years that have been published for calculating the proper size of what kind of grease trap you need, how often it's supposed to be cleaned, companies that you can even pay to come in and do your grease trap, which would be the best. But yeah, they gave us a whole bunch of literature that we can go over.
Right, so
too.
we're gonna have to put a plan together because it's, I mean, once we get these pipes cleaned out, which they haven't been cleaned out in a very long
Right,
time,
yeah.
but we need to stay on it.
Right, right.
So,
That's just my point.
yep. All right, so, can I get a motion to approve the, Cook proposal?
I'll make a motion for that. For reference number 6423.
Yeah, and I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hi, Dan, you with us now?
I am,
Oh,
but I got as you want because we're delayed here in Denver,
yep,
so I'll be on until the end.
okay, thank you. Okay, reference 65.23, a quote from Foremost for testing 2 motors, installing, programming, and startup of VFD in the amount of $6,708.06. Justin, is there anything that you want to add to this, or?
I mean, does anybody, do you want me to explain what
If
these
you would,
are?
if you don't mind.
So, we have the SBRs, which basically is the entire processing system. Each one has its own, not its own, but it just happens to be that way, dedicated blower. So when SBR 1 is on, blower 1 turns on. When SBR 2 goes on, blower 2. But they really cycle on a timed frequency, but 2 of them went down. One of them, we know the VFD blew up, because when the whole plant tripped out a while back, when we brought it back online, that was the reason. The breaker never tripped, so when we turned it back on, it ended up frying it. So we know one VFD is down, but we're unsure if it was a motor problem or it was the VFD that had the issue. So what Foremost is gonna do is, 'cause we need to replace the one VFD at least, the other blower and VFD will not reset. Every time you reset it, it kicks out immediately, which tells me more so that that one might be a motor issue. So Foremost is gonna come in, install the VFD that we need to be installed in the first place, and also test those motors to see if they're the issues. If so, then we have to replace those motors, so we're down to 1 blower. And if we lose that one last blower, we have no process anymore. So it's very, very, very critical that they do this.
Okay,
Anybody-
thanks.
Yep.
Anybody have any questions regarding that?
Now,
Not for me.
So this is for one blower, one VFD and testing?
So yeah,
The other one?
because the other VFD luckily the breaker has been exercised, and so it didn't like stick and didn't blow up on itself. So it just keeps resetting and it won't stay on. So therefore, that tells me that it's probably the motor. If the VFD is not causing to try to keep going and it's actually turning itself off, the computer's doing its job, the motor's not. All the motors have maintenance in a timely manner every 6 months, they get greased, they get oil changed, so I'm not sure what would cause, but they're also just not built the same as they
So,
used to be.
since we have him coming out to do the
Right.
replacement of one
Yeah, test
VFD,
one,
we
yeah.
figured let's have him
Test
do
the
some
motor.
extra work while he's there, rather than having to
Which isn't too much.
It's all good, it's all good.
come out another time, so.
Yeah.
So can I get a motion to approve, 65.23 quote?
Yeah, I'll make that motion for 65.23, the quote, in the amount of $6,708.06.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Alright.
Okay, Castagna, James or Dan, any?
I don't have
update?
anything on Castagna, I don't think Dan has anything to offer, I know they're still moving forward, I popped in there last week, construction's moving forward as we expected. Dan, have you been down there at all, or any change for you?
I haven't been out since my last visit. I will definitely stop by next week. I have not received the call to inspect the last two septic tanks, but during my last trip, I inspected 3 of them, and things were moving along nicely. So I'll get a full update next week.
Thank you.
Thank you. West Main Street Pump Station?
Yeah, we won't know that until Monday. We're still waiting on Foremost to give us their closeout paperwork, so.
All right, so that's,
Yep.
all right, ASPCA.
ASPCA came in, I believe, last week. They have their GC in order. They hired an excavation company out of somewhere, I think either Putnam or Westchester County, a contractor from down that way. And they were scheduling their pre-construction meeting with Joanne Daly and our building inspector. It was actually already in the books, and they canceled the date. One of the contractors couldn't make it, so they're expecting to break ground sometime in the next month. Their contractors in order, they have all their contracts signed, and we'll let you guys know. Dan, I'll let you know as soon as they're gonna do that pre-construction meeting as well, but it should be in the next 2 weeks.
Yes, please.
The pre-construction meeting.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
It's exciting to finally see that one get going. And the holdup, they had changed their GCs. They originally awarded it and then pulled it back, and then the new GC came in, bid it, and then after they won the contract, they rebid the whole project again to subs as well. That's what the holdup was.
Okay.
So they've been ready to go on our end for a while, but now they're right there.
Okay. No attorney, so we're good there. Dan, do you have an engineer's report?
I have nothing critical to report to the commission tonight.
Okay, thank you, Dan. That was the shortest and sweetest one so far.
Safe travels, Dan.
I was gonna call it, I was gonna call it supremely brief.
Justin,
So, I have only really one thing. We were at the elementary school pump station on Haight Street, and we pulled, both pumps were clogged, so we had to call Savarese to come,
well, back up.
sorry.
You cleaned out that pump station
Oh, yeah,
not that
so,
long ago.
not too long ago, about 3 weeks ago, we had this pump station actually cleaned out. We had a bunch of pump stations backed out, completely emptied, nothing on the bottom. So, I believe it was just yesterday.
Yeah.
We showed
Tuesday.
up, it was Tuesday? We showed up and we saw that the pump station was filling up just before we were about to hit the alarm float, so the alarm didn't call out. We tried resetting the pumps, would not reset. So we had to call Savarese vacuum company to come pump down the tank so that we can at least see where the pumps are, hook onto them, pull them up, and inspect them. I printed out the 2 photos. One of them has, you can see there's a full-size microfiber towel. You couldn't see it hanging out of the pump, so we didn't take a picture.
It's still blue.
It's still blue. So we pulled that out, and that's what that is. And then there's other one is actual metal chain with hair tie and other things.
So-
But we've had past history, which we should have taken photos, but we didn't, of other microfiber towels and a lot of feminine hygiene products. A lot.
These people
Elementary
have,
school.
these things go down there.
So,
It's
so
Gotcha.
The chain, I couldn't really tell you where that came from. That could have been in the lines forever, cause you can see there's so much buildup on that. That could have been sitting in the line from however many years ago and has just kind of finally came through, so.
So, this is just something that, you know, I asked Justin to talk
Been aware
about
of,
it. It's something that I think we need to discuss as a commission, as he had stated. We just had pumped this station out 3 weeks prior.
We just paid the bill.
And we just paid the bill for that, and now we're gonna be looking at a sizable bill from Savarese to clean all this out. Where do we just continue to absorb this, or does any of this cost go back to the,
This comes directly from the school.
yes,
Elementary school?
yes,
So could we even send this to the school and be like, hey, where are these blue microfiber towels coming from?
right.
Like, these are
But
in
then
here.
you also still have the feminine hygiene products
Right.
that are, he's saying, in very large quantities. I mean,
I think,
Do they have good signage up and stuff in the school?
I don't know.
They
Maybe
should.
we should contact them. and
we
make
should give them
sure
a
they-
formal letter, so it's
Yeah.
official.
Yeah.
And some
I
like.
just feel like we need to do something.
Yeah, well, this could even go to them, right?
Yeah, I would-
Elementary school, so it's not this, some of it's not the students there.
Correct.
No, this is
Correct.
not
the beginning.
These are.
Okay.
But either way, they could be notified, right? And they should put signage in the restrooms, and the school should be notified that, hey, this is only your stuff coming into this. It's a major
Right.
issue,
Right.
and they gotta take some proper
A
steps on their end.
chain,
Yeah,
though?
I made sure that every single time we have to pull one of those pumps, that we are taking photos of anything that
Great.
comes out of them.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good, that's really
But-
good.
I guess this is something for us to think about, besides just sending a formal letter. Do we continue to try to absorb the expenses of this?
Like, what kind of expense will this be?
Well,
I'm not sure.
we
Just
can,
pump
next month, we'll be able to speak to what Savarese
Oh, the actual bill, sure.
I'll have it by tomorrow,
I mean, we can,
probably.
we have the bill probably for the cleaning out of the.
Yeah, but that's with a whole bunch of other.
That was
But it would be
Station
interesting to
Yeah.
see what we spent to clean it
Yes.
out for our own maintenance purposes.
Mhm.
And then now what we had to spend because of this, just so we can see the cost factors involved.
And on Tuesday, what brought you there Tuesday? Was there an issue?
No, we just, every single day we check all the pump stations. Every single day, even Saturdays and Sundays. We check every single pump station, we check every single well, we check every single fluorine residual, we test every single plant, we do all that stuff. So it's just routine. We open up the hatch, we look inside, make sure everything's floating around where it's supposed to be, because sometimes freak accidents happen, sometimes the floats will come on hooked, I don't know why, but they do.
Sure.
But so we just check them every single day, and so he opened it and saw that it was coming up, he's like, oh, good. Both pumps are obviously tripped, tried resetting them, and they kicked out almost immediately, which tells you that they're really bound, because they'll try for a minute, but the fact that they kicked off right away, they called me immediately, like, hey, we need to call Savarese before this thing really fills up, because we caught it just in time, because that could have filled up, and as soon as that fills up, there's a manhole on the left, it starts pouring out of there, and that's not a good look, so.
No, I think that letter really has to state to the administration and the maintenance department that they have to be educated and informed up there, what it, you know,
But-
what has to be put into the sewer system and what not.
And on top of that, just because we're talking about pump stations, that one doesn't, for some reason, elementary school doesn't have a grease problem, but the Green Lawn pump station, that street that feeds, has a horrible grease problem. Like, it is really bad.
Green
So I don't
Lawn,
know
that's
if that,
That's over by Circle, Fairway
In the
Circle.
dead end there, right?
yeah, it is like every single other week, it's like a thick mat. It's the worst, it's
All
probably the
residential
worst
then.
one.
Residential.
Is that coming from anywhere but residential?
From my understanding, it's just residential.
Could be anything.
So it's something though that, at least with the school, we need to think about what other besides the letter,
Mhm.
what financial recourse, whatever that we want, so. I guess we'll put this on as a discussion point for
Sure.
next month.
Yeah, it'd be good to see the financial impact of it, and then we can circle back, right? But just proper signage from them, and they gotta understand it, especially when it's elementary school. That's,
And education.
Yeah, you can see the
That's
hair
what they
ties
do,
and
is
other things that are
education.
inside there.
See if they can do something.
Good point, Phil.
It's true. Not doing well on that one.
No, not now.
Yeah. So we are gonna send a letter then, right?
Do you want me to send the letter now? Do you want
I
me to
think
wait
we-
until we know what the financial ramifications are?
I don't think the letter can hurt.
Yeah, I think just a
Do the
letter.
letter now
Yeah, I think-
Make them aware and then.
Make them aware, right?
you know,
Say,
Once we
hey,
get the
this-
bill, we know what it is.
and let them know we'll be discussing
We're discussing it.
more.
a policy or
Yeah, we'll
something?
just say, hey, you know, this thing, I think they can know that this thing was pumped and maintained just a few weeks ago. And this is what came out of your
I
system.
mean, here, they're
right?
just back to school.
Right, you're just back to school.
Yeah, that's why we made sure we did it, because last time we tried getting it done, it was causing a traffic issue for the elementary school. So I
Right.
tried getting it done right before school starts, and then we tried to do it kinda like early spring, right when school's kinda ending.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
if they understand that, hey, this comes only from you, and had this not been caught in our daily maintenance, which,
Yeah.
great job, by the way,
Thank you.
this could have been spilling over somewhere,
Yeah,
which is a
I
really
mean,
bad
he
thing.
could have just left,
Right?
and then it would have
just came out,
started
yeah.
bubbling up and.
They might realize the severity of it then, and then say, hey, all you got, it's an easy conversation amongst your staff and other people, and signage in your restrooms. And that's all we can do, but at least they're on
At
notice.
least, yeah.
I do believe it was about 2 or 3 years ago, they had a backup there bad enough that it was coming up through the manhole.
Wow.
Cause I remember that was the first time I ever seen a sewer backup when I started here. So, yeah, so they've had it happen, they are aware that it can
Alright.
happen.
So we'll look for
Yeah.
history too.
Well, thanks for sticking around after dealing with that a couple years ago.
Yeah, I've been here going on 4
I
years.
looked for a new
almost.
job.
It's almost 4 years now, so.
Okay. All right, so I'll draft up something and get that out. Did you have anything else?
Nope, that's
Okay.
it for me.
Thank you. Does anybody have anything that's not on the agenda they want to bring forward?
I would like to go back to the Green Lawn pump
Mhm.
station for a moment. Does the golf course go down there? Is there anything, could it be?
I have to
something
look at the
from-
maps to be.
Well, look at the
there,
golf
yeah.
course.
No, I don't know.
Because it's
I'm
on,
not
it is,
sure.
it is
There's
on the
no
other
food.
side.
Yeah, no
Do
food
they,
there.
do they food, they don't serve food there? I
Yeah.
didn't go to the golf
No,
club.
they don't
They
serve
serve
food.
hot dogs,
Yeah.
but that's.
They do?
If that.
Maybe someone
if
makes
that-
They
I don't think
used
they
to.
do
Maybe
anymore.
somebody makes
No.
Oh,
soap.
maybe not at all,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Randomly they'll do
Maybe
hot
someone
dog
runs a
bites.
small business that does like soap or something
No,
like
in
that.
fact, the sewer line was clogged out there last week, and
It's just one
every
thing.
year it gets clogged. And we had it snaked out, and there was hand towels that were down in there, but the trouble is, that line that goes out of that building doesn't have a good pitch.
That's
So-
why.
Like the chamber.
So in fact,
That's all the time.
I'm suggesting to Wendell, our maintenance guy, that we take the hand towels out of there and put an electric hand
Oh, yeah.
blower in there.
Yeah.
And hopefully, because we have signage in there too.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
People
products
don't-
down to,
No, you'll never
people
get
don't
blowers.
read, or they don't listen.
Yeah, I'll have to look at the map more in detail,
Yeah,
but
it's just.
there's just a lot of grease, like that is by far. It used to be Castagna, but after about the third or fourth time we cleaned out Castagna, I think it was just so backed up the line that it's not really reoccurring that much at all anymore. But green lawn is always the first, that's like, when the green lawn gets bad enough, that's when like, alright, that's when we really gotta do maintenance on this pump station.
They must just cook with a lot of
Someone's
grease
doing
over
some
there.
business out of their
Someone's
house with
eating
it.
a lot of greasy
Yeah.
food.
I was saying a small business maybe that are running out of the house and there's gotta be some kind of
Well,
product
should
that
be
they're
having
using
a
that they're
permit for
flushing.
that.
Yeah, right.
Running a business out of
Wish you
their
could
house.
really track it back, find out,
I know.
check manholes or something,
Well,
really,
I'd like to
really.
do that out
But
here
maybe-
too.
Yeah.
That can be one of the spots, cause New York Rural's coming back in October, maybe we'll
Yeah,
camera that
let's-
street and we can see more specific.
You can get to a smaller
Yeah,
area.
see if you at least can see where it starts,
Yeah.
clinging to the
And
pipe
you
or
can easily
whatever.
isolate after that, so maybe that'll be one of the spots.
That'd be a
we
good
do.
thing.
Yeah,
At least they should see, get a note to see their cardiologist.
yeah.
That one's greasy.
All right, can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting then?
I'll make a motion for that.
I'll say it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dan. Safe travels.
Is there?
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
And we'll see you Monday.
Okay.
Thank
Visitor-
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Any visitor comments?
I just have a question about the water bill. Is there any,
Well, that's for the village board, but we can, this is the sewer commission.
I know, that's why I wanted to ask who I would speak to about that.
Yeah, that would be the village board, but,
I passed that email off to Jennifer.
yeah.
Okay, well, hopefully, can I speak to her tomorrow, maybe?
That has to, I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Have a good evening, everyone.
All right,
Thank
yeah.
you. You too. Bill, you did a great job.
Every day.
Yeah, we didn't have a good party or
Yeah.
anything. Did I miss that?
I think there's some days.
He just came back on vacation, you think about going back on vacation?
Just give me a heads up, this way I know I'm there.